Just connecting to recording thing. Just connect. Okay. Right. We will start with prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, since many of us are not here today, we'll just do a simple recap and then maybe just get introduced to the next 3 verses which have a theme, and then we can go into the verses when we meet again. In detail, we'll go into it when we meet again. All right, so let me start the screen share. Okay. So we all remember this particular outline of Ishopanishad, how it is, Ishopanishad is formatted, I mean, spoken in a way that we can first learn to see things in perspective, gain spiritual vision, gain understanding. And then based on that, then we have, Ishopanishad gives us some guidelines for knowledge, guidelines for practice, and then always culminating at heart level. The heart level is prayers and connecting to our Ishtadeva. So that's how Ishopanishad starts. And first is invocation. We all know this verse. We'll just recite. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Evavasishyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is a complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So we went through these, but we'll just go over again, like just an overview. So invocation mantra, we'll see the focus or the main points. The theme of this mantra is absolute truth, or definition of absolute truth, or description of absolute truth. Yeah. Now, Prabhupada elaborates on this particular verse by just going through the verse itself, the mantra itself, The mantra is saying about the completeness of spiritual absolute truth or personality of Godhead. and then completeness of whatever emanates from him. And whatever emanates from him includes a lot. So one is his own plenary expansions, and then there's this phenomenal, this cosmic manifestation, this world, material creation, and also we are also emanations of Krishna. We are also, the living entities are also emanations of Krishna. So Prabhupada just goes through these 3 points in his description, in this purport or commentary. And completeness of the absolute truth, we kind of, this one is the only thing that we can actually, I feel like, very easily accept in this whole entire verse. But yes, the completeness of absolute truth means that Krishna is all inclusive. And he is Sat Chit Ananda, whereas Brahman realization takes one only to Sat, or Jnana practice only takes one to Sat. And then there is a little bit more. Chit realization is Paramatma realization, where one becomes aware, or one has some knowledge about, okay, there is Paramatma in each living entity. So he is inside. So I want to meditate on him. So that's how Chit realization correlates with Paramatma realization. And Ananda realization is where the Bhagavan realization happens, because that's when Ananda comes. Ananda means relationship with a person, which gives a bliss, or any kind of emotional transaction, emotional interaction. So that's where Ananda can come from. So Satchit Ananda is all in Bhagavan, all together. Therefore, Krishna's form is Haribol Akshaj. So he is complete. That's how absolute truth, Krishna is complete. And then Prabhupada goes into completeness of the material world. Even though we feel incomplete, how can we understand this world is complete? In what perspective? In Krishna's perspective, from creation perspective, we can see that the functional aspect of it, is actually getting carried on automatically. So therefore, it's considered complete. Like everything is auto set, just happening by its own, even though under supervision of Krishna's energies, but it just happening by itself. So that's one, like the 24 elements, time scale, day and night, schedules of seasons, and all this. And apart from this, also the purpose behind creation also makes it complete. Meaning, the purpose behind creation actually is to actually realize Krishna, realize our eternal identity, or understand that we don't belong here. So only when a living entity gains that positive clarity that this is not my place, I have a better place, and I am not just this body, I am actually much more than that. So when a person can gain that, then their life is purposeful, right? And through that, this material creation has given them that experience of either temporary happiness and like intermittent pain. So naturally one goes to think about, why am I suffering? So to awaken that feeling or that thought, inquisitive spirit is if that is achieved, then that's the purpose of actually this creation. And if you want to say it a little more, what do you call, like, I don't like to say this all the time, but sometimes there's also comparison that this world is like a prison house. True, correctional facility kind of a thing. So that's another way to look at it. But more positive way of looking at it is rehabilitation center. We are just wounded people here. We want to just gain our spiritual identity back, rehab towards that, and just go back home, not just stay in the facility for long. Then completeness of the jivas, when and why do we feel incomplete and when can we actually feel complete? That's kind of auto answered right now through this discussion. So these are the things that are discussed in Ishopanishad. And then when describing about Sachidananda Vigraha and how why, what would make a living entity feel incomplete, this analogy is given: hand severed from the body. Even though the hand has the fingers and the joints and the bone and the flesh and everything, but the blood supply is not connected, then it doesn't work. Or nerve supply is not connected, it doesn't work. Or if it is severed from the body, there's no use. So that's how, the hand is an incomplete piece at that point. Okay. So, yeah, I think we went through these and we were also trying to reflect. Have we felt incomplete at any time? Do we feel incompleteness now in our lives? And usually when we get into that space of vacuum or a feeling of dissatisfaction and incompleteness, what is our normal response or reaction? What do we do to just think, what do we do now is something that we can reflect. But then we also can set, what do we want to be when we face these kind of situations in future? So zooming out of the situation and trying to see the big picture may help a little. And what else can we do? That is something for us to really explore, contemplate. And we watched this video, if you remember, the missing piece meeting the big O. That's that's something that kind of really nice representation of what to do when we feel incomplete. Not just sit there and just look for someone else to just fill us, or or going to try to fit in so that we will feel complete, we'll feel accepted. But what else can we do to gain our own positive identity? It's something that is deep actually to think. So yeah, this is the first verse. No, not first verse, actually, invocation. I'll just go through overall theme of 1 to 3. The Ishopanishad is also categorized nicely. 1 to 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8 is a group. 9, 10, 11 is a theme. And then 12, 13, 14 is a theme. And then 16, 17, 18, 19, they are a theme. Mainly 16, 17 separately and 18, 19, sorry. Yeah. No, 15, 16 separately and then 18, 17, 18 separately. So first 3 verses are about Krishna's proprietorship over this world, how he is actually the owner, or he is the basis, or he is the foundation. And then what is our role? That is the first verse. And the second verse talks about the what do we gain if we, or what benefits are there, what do we gain if we function from the for the perception or for the understanding that actually Krishna is the proprietor, I'm not the proprietor. So therefore, what am I to do in this world? How do I deal with this world and the other people? So when one can live in a conscious way like that, what are rewards that we get? That is second verse. And the third verse is one who is not able to see it, one who is struggling and not just able to open up to see Krishna's, ownership, and then our role. What happens to that living entity? Where do they end up, and what struggles do they have to face? This is the third mantra. So first 3 mantras are about Krishna's role, or Krishna's role as a proprietor, and our role as a contributor in a different way, or so that's the first 3 verses. And then comes the second 4 and 5. I'm just going through verbally, just like an overview. 4 and 5 actually is about inconceivable potencies of Krishna. These are the verses that say that Krishna can walk and doesn't walk, and he surpasses excellence. So like inconceivable things. Certain things about Krishna are inconceivable. They remain inconceivable. It's not like we can just grasp and get hold of him in our mind. So it is more like appreciating his inconceivability or inconceivableness. I don't know what the word is, correct word is. The inconceivable nature of Krishna, we can appreciate and get amazed. And I think this is how even I approach Bhagavatam. First canto, okay, nice. All kinds of interactions, conversations, all that. Even though the whole Bhagavatam is conversational, some cantos are very dense with philosophy. Some cantos are so dense with lots of, creation related stuff where there is like, okay, this whole Jambu Dvipa, this one, that one, so many things are described. And it's easy to get lost, So my approach is when something is beyond my ability to understand, I don't want to shut it off. I don't want to like close the door. But can I wonder about it? I mean, I can just be like amazed about things. I can just wonder like a child. That's then I'll get little access. Then if I say no, this is too far for me, then just close it. Then I'll never have access. So just wondering and amazed and appreciating that, oh my God, this much is there. I remember the silly, but I'll anyway share. I remember when I was a kid in India, we used to sleep on the terrace, because the air quality was better. And then there was not too many mosquitoes. So we would just put a like straw mat and take a sheet and just sleep under the moon. So I would always wonder, why moon is called moon, why star is called star, and these kind of questions, I didn't know where to ask. And then when I come and see, okay, eat prasadam, I used to wonder why idli is called idli. It's like so silly. No, why dosa is not called idli? How invented this proportion 1:2 for idli and dosa? It's so mind-boggling for me. I used to think, how come like this Punjabis know only about paratha? Why they don't know about idli? It's like whole kinds of questions, and some of them got answered. I mean, I didn't get answered like after practicing, after getting introduced to Radha and Krishna. Then I felt like some of the things kind of got answered in a subtle manner, not like scientifically, logically, but because my question was, who named all these things? Why are they named like this? Why they cannot be named like the other way? I would write idli and then I will put it reverse and say, why we cannot call it like this? It's like so many things. Then when I heard about Radharani making cookies out of Vraj dust and giving to Durvasa Muni, I was thinking, okay, so the concept of cookies were there even at that time. So the concept of the name idli must have been there in spiritual world. This one little thing kind of convinced me. I don't have to think about this. I don't know why I got convinced. Like, it's very silly. It looks very childish, but it just convinced me. I was like, okay, fine. These people have, this moon has the name moon. That's all. It's not like I don't have to understand it too far. But it was just like a phase of wonder and like a explorative phase, like you just like think and want to know in it's very interesting. So there's the interesting part of it. That's what in fifth canto I still can't get hold of anything. I like it, but I just can't get hold of it. Vamsidhari Prabhu, he can describe the whole, he can draw, he can say this is Ilavrata Varsha, that is that Varsha, there is 7 divisions. Are like, ooh, you guys are so advanced. I used to be like, you guys are so good. Like Nandi Mukhi Mataji, there is one disciple of Maharaj. She is like that. She can just think about astrological calculations, and she's a mathematician, PhD. So she can think about all those things. And for me, it is like, I just wonder. So I'm like, okay, I can just be a kid when I don't understand something. So that's how I feel connected to the inconceivable potencies of Krishna. That I can wonder, I can appreciate, wow, he can do this, he can do that. I mean, it's like, I don't have to get it. So anyway, so that is 4 and 5. We'll see. And then 6, 7, and 8 is about developing a spiritual vision or cultivating spiritual vision. So 1 to 3 is about proprietorship of Krishna and our relationship in this material world. What are we, how do we live our lives? 4 and 5 are about inconceivable potencies of Krishna, just appreciating it. 6, 7, and 8 are about cultivating spiritual vision, how to see different kinds of devotees, how to see the pure devotee, and how to see Krishna. There are some tips given in these 3 verses, 6, 7, and 8. Very nice verses. 6 and 7 are really like, they give punchlines, they give like essences, and it's really nice when we discuss those. It's very practical for us, actually. Even though the language of Ishopanishad is so philosophical, but there's so much practical stuff in this. And then that is 8, until 8, 6, 7, 8. Now we finished the vision part of it. You see how it falls into place? Vision of Krishna as a proprietor, developing a vision of what my role is, developing a vision of Krishna's inconceivable potencies, and developing a spiritual vision to see other people in relation to Krishna. So that is until 8, 8th mantra. Then 9 through 14 are guidelines, if you remember the zoom lens. And 9, 10, 11 are going to say, what are some uses of knowledge of this world, like science, mathematics, whatever professions we are in, what is the use of that? And what are some limitations of knowledge within this, about this, or within this material world, scope of, the knowledge? And then what is the scope of knowledge that is related to spiritual world or spiritual nature? So this is 9 and 10. And 11 is going to say how to use both for our own betterment. Verse 9 is saying about disadvantage of just material knowledge. 10 says about advantage of spiritual knowledge. But 11 will say how far to use material knowledge and how far, we can actually keep going in spiritual knowledge. So we need both to survive. We can't just check out and say, hey, I don't need the language English. I don't need this. We can't check out like that, right? I mean, we need to have some means of life. So we use for the purpose, but then where can we stop? Where to stop, and that kind of thing is 9, 10, 11. Similarly, 12, 13, 14 talk about faith or worship, faith and worship of impersonal Brahman. How far can that get us? Faith and worship of devatas, and then faith and worship of Supreme Lord. And everything has its place. We don't say that demigods don't exist. We don't nullify them. We don't nullify impersonal Brahman. But what are they, or who are they in terms of relationship with Krishna? So then we always have to see things in perspective, not just like blind follow. So that's what is given in 12, 13, 14. So ultimately the conclusion is that supreme absolute truth is Krishna. I mean, it's not explicitly written, obviously, in this Ishopanishad, but supreme absolute truth is a person. So then, if it is a person, then what kind of relationship we want to have? What do we want to ask him to do for us? So that is 15, 16, 17, and 18. So this is like a big overview of Ishopanishad. And language is pretty philosophical. Upanishadic language is always very philosophical. They don't come to the point straightforward. So if we don't have Prabhupada's purport, it's so hard to see the straightforward point in it. We may understand like a kind of overview, but then we don't understand the details of it, which we get through purports and other references and stuff like that. So this is Ishopanishad. Now, what should we do? Should we just continue? Or what are your thoughts? Do you want to share something maybe, or anything? Share anything about anything, not just about this session or discussion. Or whatever you're processing, thinking. I mean, I've been processing a lot recently with Maharaj's stuff. So but it has helped me to look where I can improve in certain places, and I'm just trying to sit with what I can do better in terms of devotee relationships, in terms of service. How far can I actually grow? Mm. That was something that coming to me. It didn't come easily. It came with a lot of friction. Came with a lot of churning, but then the final culmination of the churning and friction is a lot of learning. So that's what is going on with me. A lot of emotional roller coaster. But yeah. Anyway, that has been my last week. So today is the first day, I guess you're speaking somewhat of clarity. Shastra gives clarity, I guess.
Mm.
Mm.
I don't have so much to share.
Yeah.
I guess on that note, whenever I heard about Marge, and also with JPS going through a lot right now too, I just felt like I wasn't doing anything, and I feel like I could do so much more in my own practice of bhakti. So ever
Yeah.
since then, even before that, I like pushed myself to at least start somewhere. So ever since I've started somewhere, I've felt a lot more positive, a lot more better about myself too. So yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. It's a lot actually.
Yeah.
In Bangalore, they're having a 12-hour kirtan for both Maharajas today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very difficult phase. I mean, we are actually at this phase of time that's all Maharajas are going through so much. So
Yeah.
it's little sensitive and delicate period of time, I think, in our lives right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's almost like a wake up call sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Ah,
Um, yeah, I don't have much to share either. Just listening.
yeah, no problem. Yeah.
I do have a question though.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think it's like a silly question, but it's just like it's springing from like some misinterpretation.
Mm.
So I just wanted to correct it.
Mhm.
Um, so like we said, uh, like you said, there's like a 12-hour kirtan going on for Maharajas.
Yeah,
And also like many times I've like chanted for the sake of someone else, but is it not an offense to the holy name to chant and wish for something?
yeah. Nice question, huh?
Yeah.
Um, you know, we serve Krishna, and basically, my thought or my understanding is we serve Krishna and request that extend protection to them. Because we serve the holy name and request Nama Prabhu to extend protection to them. Then just, I mean, basically, we're asking spiritual protection that they already have, but also a facility in their body that they can carry on their service to him, that kind of thing. So therefore, I think it is not an offense, because otherwise, yeah, what you're saying is true, that if we have some material motivation and then just chant, it's like 10th offense, right? Is that which
Yeah, I
there's
think so.
something, yeah, something like holding on to material attachments even after understanding. the glories of the holy name kind of thing,
Yeah.
maintaining material. Yeah, but this one is more on a place. It comes from a place where we call out. Who else do we have to call out to anyways? We need help. So even so, to even do some service to them, we need empowerment, we need help, we need support. And when we have to serve Nama Prabhu, then we call out to Guru. I don't know how to chant, please help me. When we have to serve Guru, then we have to call out to Nama Prabhu and say, I don't know what to do in the situation to serve. So help me, and also help them in gaining because their life is dedicated to you. So please help them gain their strength so they can continue their service like that. Yeah. Yeah, but nice, huh? I didn't think so. It's a good question actually. It's not silly.
Yeah.
Contemplation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So we'll end today then, right? Maybe we should all think if weekends are not very conducive, then we could switch to some weekday evenings. If that's better in terms of just keeping somewhat of a consistency. Of course, last week was all confusing everywhere, but just
I think maybe we can put like a poll out to see what days work best for everyone and what times.
Yeah, I'll send it out, and yeah, we'll just send out on an average should be evening, that is for sure.
Yeah.
If it is evening, should it be after 6:30 or 7ish? But that'll be 8 for you. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah. So maybe because I just don't want anybody to have rushed dinner and rush from the work and then just sit on a lap. It's like too inconvenient for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the later, it doesn't matter the time.
Yeah, 7:30, something like that, maybe even, right?
Even later is fine, but yeah.
Okay, I'll ask in the group then. Yeah, that way we can keep some level of consistency. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.